Yo, 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 what's up? You able to hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
You able to hear me? I can't hear you. Say something real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I can hear you now. Obviously, thank you for coming on. I haven't started it yet, but thank you.
No problem.
So I'm gonna just start off. Have you say a little about yourself, and then I'll do my intro. So, hello, my name is Carson Cook. Today I'm here with Jared Johnson, a team manager with the SCSU basketball team. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Yourself?
Not too bad. Just woke up, so that that always feels good.
Yeah.
Just to start off, I want to ask you, like, tell me a little bit about yourself. I know a little bit. I know you're from the Bay, right?
Yeah.
Played high school basketball, right?
Yeah.
And beyond that, I don't know much about you. So if you could just tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So, like you just said, I'm from the Bay. I'm from San Jose. Before that, I grew up in New Jersey, actually. And a lot of my life, I actually played soccer, and I didn't switch to basketball until around my sophomore year of high school. With that, I'm also a business marketing major at SDSU currently. I'm a second year going into my third year. And with marketing, I'm kind of just a little interested in doing graphic design, stuff like that with clothing, fashion, along those lines.
So what high school did you go to?
I went to Santa Teresa High School.
Okay, okay. And in high school, how was your basketball journey? You said you started kind of more taking it serious sophomore year, but
Yeah,
beyond that, did you play AAU? Did you
yeah.
strictly play high school? How was that?
So my basketball career is kind of it's a little funny. My started playing AU, I think freshman year, just kind of as for fun, to be honest, because I took soccer a lot more serious around then. But I remember my sophomore year, I played freshman team for my high school. And then sophomore year, I was cut from my team. And that kind of switched a little gear in my head and kind of just had me really focus on basketball and kind of just make me make a choice on sports, you know?
Hmm. And by the time that you graduated high school, did you have any interest? Did you have
Yeah.
an idea? Hey, maybe I want to go play JUCO or D3 or D2?
Yeah. So basically out of high school, our team did pretty good. Ended up making state that year, which is pretty rare for our school. So I had a couple offers, mostly just JUCOs, D3s. I think around like three D2s. But with that, I didn't really want to settle on just playing basketball in college. I really wanted to get a good education. So that's kind of what brought me to San Diego State.
Yeah. So you said that. What other schools did you apply to besides San Diego State?
Outside of San Diego State, I applied to a lot of other CSUs, so like Long Beach, Fullerton, uh, Cal Poly, a lot of those state schools in California, and then also a couple of East Coast schools. Closer to my brother, he graduated from Syracuse, so I applied there. Almost,
Dang.
almost ended up going there. That was a close choice. Seton Hall, almost ended up walking onto there. And
Oh
yeah, that would have been fun.
man,
And
your brother must hold that over that they destroyed SCSU your freshman
oh
year.
yeah, yeah. Me and him. I remember last year when I was a manager for the team, we were when we got placed against Syracuse. Me and him had a little friendly argument about that one about who would win. And I remember the only thing he told me is the dude named Buddy is going to give us 30.
And he did give us 30.
He did.
It was it was kind of like Seiko and his brother.
Yeah, exactly.
So at the end of the day, you chose SCSU. What kind of went into that decision? Because for me, a big part of that was their athletics, even though obviously I don't play at all,
Oh,
but I wanted to be involved with their athletics. And I knew a school like SCSU, more than almost any other school in the state, besides maybe what UCLA, has this
yeah.
pedigree in sports. So what went into your decision?
Yeah, definitely the pedigree in sports was a huge decision. my brother a while back, he almost came here to play soccer. So I came on his visit with him, and I just really enjoyed the campus, the environment. So definitely when I applied here and I saw that I got accepted, it was like a top choice for me. And it was pretty easy choice, to be honest.
So you said you want to kind of work in the graphic design, like marketing.
Yeah.
What are your career goals like? Are you trying to do something in sports, or are you trying to go into more fashion, all that?
So growing up, one thing I've always loved is the world of basketball and just sports in general and fashion, how they kind of collide a little bit. So I definitely in my life try to figure out a way to bring those worlds together in my future career. Yeah.
Yeah, now more than ever, the NBA is more is almost about more about fashion than the game on the court.
Yeah.
So moving on to your managerial role, how did you get in contact with the team? Why did you decide to reach out? Just what it went into that whole process.
Yeah. Coming on campus, obviously I was still, even though I decided not to go and play JUCO or D2 or D3, I still wanted to be involved with basketball as much as I could and even possibly play. So first thing I did when I got to campus, I made sure to reach out to all the coaches just to see who would reach back to me. And then I ended up getting email back from Matt Soria, and he kind of explained how during my freshman year, we actually didn't have tryouts due to COVID and stuff like that. So Matt kind of explained the whole situation to me and kind of just explained that if I was a manager, I'd be able to still be in with the team, maybe get thrown in some practices, stuff like that. So that's kind of what made me take the opportunity.
Man, the funny thing is, so Matt he's like what's his role with the team?
He's a PR guy.
Okay. So my high school basketball coach coached at Sac State. So he knew him. So I was like, okay, that's perfect. I can like kind of help with the team. Like that's the perfect in. Email him, email all the coaches. Not a single response. So I was like, you know what? I'll reach out to the women's basketball team. And I mean, it's basically the same thing, just
Yeah.
with the women's team. So how has your experience been so far with the team? Obviously, you guys have made March Madness 2 years in a row, have been contenders each season. How has all that been, and has it been everything that you've expected?
It's been everything I've expected and honestly way more. Throughout my past 2 years at the team, I've built some strong relationships with the players, the coaches. So anytime I'm in that building, it's always fun. And like you said before, we made the tournament 2 years in a row. So it's a winning environment. Everyone in there knows how to win. So it's just super fun.
And what has been your favorite part of being a manager with them?
Honestly, I'd say just being able to here and there, being able to compete against players, just as a player myself, that's definitely one of the most fun aspects of being a manager. You're kind of able to do off court stuff and on court stuff.
Now, the craziest part for me is you guys didn't have fans your freshman year, right?
Yeah.
Well, our freshman year. So the first game I filmed was the last game of the season versus Fresno State. And just that environment is being in the stands is one thing, but when you're on that court, you hear everything, whether
Yeah.
the players will say so or not. So when the first game, when you guys had a sold out crowd, what was your reaction to all that?
I mean, the first sold out crowd, it was fun. Like that was definitely something I'll never forget. I remember my freshman year when we didn't have any fans, all the managers were always telling me how crazy it is when fans are in the building. So when we had that sold out game, it was a crazy experience. I remember I was on the bench with DeMarsha, and we were just talking the entire game, just making jokes, laughing. The rest of the guys too, just everyone was having a great time. So
Yeah, and he's a freshman, right?
yeah, it was fun.
So that was his first experience with it too.
Yeah.
And I just think that crowd is so different, especially for those managers that were there a year before you.
Yeah.
Like that was, I have friends saying that the Ticketmaster crashed.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
So you don't get paid to work. So why do you do it? For people that don't understand, like, why would you be working for free? Why do you do it?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's working for free, but there's so much more benefits that it's not really for free. You gain a lot from it. You're around coaches who are some of the best in the country when it comes to just having a great basketball mind. our team was ranked top 3 in the country for defense. So just learning from great basketball minds like that is just a super beneficial experience. Whether it's
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're so deep into the game that they have so many connections that you probably don't even know about that one day you'll be able to use.
Yep, exactly.
On to more of the team. You see a different aspect of this team than anyone else, but even the coaches have a different aspect. Yeah. So what do you guys see that other people don't see that are just fans or even the coaches?
I guess we kind of see all the little things that go on behind the doors, little confrontations between coaches, players, anything like that. Also, we kind of see the little how do I put this? I'd say niches in between the players, stuff like that. But overall, regardless of all that, we're still a huge family and we all love each other equally. But we see all those little things.
I mean, once you're on that court, it's a different environment.
Yeah. Exactly.
So who do you work with? Who do you like working with the most in general?
Players or
players?
Okay. I'd say before I answer that, last year I'd say Tigo. I don't know if you remember him, Terrell Gomez.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely one of my favorite players to work with, just because probably one of the best shooters that I've ever watched in my entire life. But aside from that, I'd say definitely Adam Seiko for sure.
Yeah, he's always in the gym.
Always.
And for you, who is a player that you see kill in practice that the fans may or may not see kill in game?
Okay. I mean, y'all haven't seen him yet, but Jaden Ledee is an animal. So I'm myself and excited to see him play this coming season. He was a red shirt from TCU, so he's always killing in practice. They had him playing on the scout team this year. He was a problem, so I'm excited for that.
And for those that didn't watch him at TCU and haven't watched him in practice, if you could tell them a little bit about him and his game.
Okay. I mean, I always jokingly call him Lightskin LeBron. That's just because of the way he's built. He's a really strong dude. But honestly, that doesn't reflect his entire game. He plays with probably one of the craziest motors I've ever seen. A motor is someone who just, always out on the floor, putting their entire effort at all times. And he's a great rebounder, great offensive, defensive rebounder. And also his post game is really good. So he plays under control. And I'm sure the coaches are also trying to get him better at that. So,
yeah. So kind of like a mini Giannis.
Something like that. Yeah. Giannis, but a little strong, like a little compact Giannis. Yeah. Yeah.
So for you, I mean, there's a log jam in the starting position. Do you think he'll start?
Honestly, I'm not too sure what the coaches are going to do. I know what you're talking about. When there's in that low position, there's a lot of players who are valuable and who can definitely start. So
I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like even throughout, because of that fifth year, these players that are staying, obviously awesome. But then there's guys on the bench that are like, man, he'd be starting on any other D1 team in the country.
Yeah. I mean, with that, it's like a lot of the players, they don't worry too much about playing time. At the end of the day, we're all trying to just win the games. So, but with that, I mean, I'm sure during all these offseason workouts, the coaches are going to see who's really standing out to determine who gets those starting spots.
My favorite quote by Jaden was like, how can I be not getting better if I'm playing against a top 3 defensive team in the country?
Yep.
So during a team practice, what is that environment like, especially heading into tournament play and then into March Madness?
Yeah. Heading into tournament play, everyone's pretty locked in. We know what we're getting into. It's do or die at that point. So everyone's locked in. The environment's great though, because it's a blessing when you get to that point of the season to reach the tournament. Only so many teams reach that point. So everyone was honestly pretty happy. We were having a lot of fun during those practices, even though we were all still taking it super serious. And yeah.
And for the fans, what can they expect from this team next year? What is your prediction for the team this year?
Man, my prediction, I think we can be easily a top 10 team in the country. So I just think as long as we everyone's locked in. We all put the work in that needs to be put in. I think we can really be there.
Yeah, I mean, top to bottom, this team is pretty stacked. And these are just kind of just some general questions, but who is the funniest player on the team? Who has the most drip? And who is the guy that is always in the gym?
Okay. Funniest dude on the team. That's tough. There's some funny dudes on the team. That's tough. Ooh. Tahiro is hilarious, but do you mean who's gonna be on the team next year or on the team right
You
now?
can do both. So
Okay.
Tahiro last year, but who about this year?
I probably have to go and give that to Jared, probably. Yeah.
And go ahead.
No. What are the other questions?
Who has the most drip and who is the guy that is always in the gym?
Okay, most drip, definitely AG for sure.
Who's got the least drip? Call him.
Ooh, least drip, man. I don't know if I want to answer that.
Nah, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah. But also, aside from AG, Nate also probably got one of the craziest shoe collections I've ever seen. But, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then who is the guy that is always in the gym? Like if you text him, he's like, "Oh, I'm working out."
Yeah, definitely. Adam Seiko, like as you said before, he's in there more than once a day. And then also Lamont and Keyshawn, they're always in there too. So
yeah, I've worked with them the past couple of days when I was still in San Diego, and I mean they were doing 2-a-days. It's different level.
Just a grind, man.
And who do you expect to have the biggest improvement this season?
Biggest improvement. Probably, honestly, definitely between one of those two names that I just mentioned, Lamont and Keyshawn. I think one of them or both will definitely have a way better season than they did last year, even though they both improved from the season before. I think they'll just keep improving just because of the way they work and just the way they're in the gym all the time.
The crazy part is I was working with them, and Kashad, he shot what, maybe 18 threes the entire season. He was knocking them down.
Yep.
I'm like, you just need to start shooting. It's all about confidence, like when you're in the game and just getting in that flow. So, I mean, once he has that, it's over.
Scary hours.
So, kind of to wrap it up, this podcast is called Stuck in a Dream. And I had the idea of always asking a guest, if you could, who would be your dream teammate? Like, if you could play with anyone, dead or alive, who would that person be?
Teammate? Okay. Probably LeBron, to be honest. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Nah.
Just because, like I'd go and say another great guard, but like I'm a guard, so I definitely need someone who, and LeBron is probably one of the best players that would be able to support my type of game. So.
Yeah. 100%. Nah, whenever I had Bobby Jackson on, if you know who that is, and then Chuck Hayes. I asked them that same question. Yeah. Guess who they said?
I'm not sure who they said LeBron.
The GOAT, Michael Jordan.
Oh, Michael. Yeah, see, I would hate to play with Michael Jordan.
Because he wouldn't be passing.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, thank you for coming on. I enjoyed hearing your story. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Nothing too much. I appreciate you for having me on. It was really fun. And hopefully you're on the basketball team a lot more next season.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you. I look forward to next season. SSU, make sure to tune in.
Sir.
Thank you, Jared. I got my whole rig that's terrible. You want to see how it looks?
Your whole what?
Look at how this is my camera setup.
Oh, shit.
So it's bad.
Yeah.
But, thank you for coming on.